What's going on, everyone? So I've been asked a lot about what are my thoughts on Trey Jameson. How do I think he'll fit? How do I think he'll work for the Los Angeles Lakers if he was to kind of fill in a role? Talked about, I think that this is kind of the move before the move. Why else would you get rid of Quincy Olivari, right? Like, he's a guy that many people, fan favorite, myself included, I really wanted to see get an opportunity, get a run. This kind of signals to me that a perimeter trade is on the horizon. We'll see if that actually happens or when that happens. But Trey is a guy that I do think can really make an impact. And I do think that there's an argument to be made for him over all the current centers that we have just because of his big physicality and size. So he is 6'10", 6'11", but 270. And he's strong, he's a bruiser, he's physical, good lower center of gravity. So he has the ability to not get moved, not get pushed around. He's a guy that can hold his own on the interior. You can even watch film with him defending Jokic and holding his ground, which is something that you really need, especially against somebody like a Nikola Jokic. He's a really good rebounder, really good shot blocker. He's much more disciplined than like a Jackson Hayes, right? Like something that I've talked about with Christian Koloko. He's basically Jackson Hayes, but with better shot blocking, right? Floor running big, right? Guy that can, be a rim runner, guy that can help rebound, protect the paint a little bit, right? But a guy like Jameson, he's a guy that can do all those things, but also be physical and bang with the big boys and just be that presence on the interior, right? Now, a lot of people kind of question, okay, well, he's a bum, he's a scrub, he's this, he's that. No, he's actually been good. He was very good for Memphis, right? But then they got everybody back, and it's just like, where does he fit? Where does he stand at this point, right? Like, now they got Brandon Clark back and Triple J and went and drafted Zach Edey. If they didn't go and get Zach Edey or any of these other guys, he'd probably still be a player that Memphis would have been interested in. And then when he went to the New Orleans Pelicans this past season, right, they ended up, it's the same reason why they let go of Elfrid Payton, right? Like, they just wanted to clear the salary. They had no purpose for these guys. They're tanking for the bottom at this point, right? Their season essentially done, over with, kaput. So why not just let these guys go, right? Same thing with Elfrid Payton. Elfrid Payton was really good for them and, had like a 20 assist game or something like that. And they were like, yeah, you're doing too good. Like, time out, right? Like, we brought you here to take, right? So I think a lot of Trey Jamison's struggles at like sticking to a home has been kind of circumstantial, is my point. Is he a guy that is going to be this superstar center and the next Dwight Howard for us? No, but he's a guy that even in a backup role, I like him in a primary backup role. He's a guy that has experience, that has started and been a key contributor, a guy that can give you, 6 and 6 in a limited spot, limited run, limited minutes. He sets good, hard physical screens, and he's a very good role man. So you have the pick and roll action there. You have all the things that you want from a guy in a Jackson Hayes, in a guy from a Christian Koloko, right? Now, those guys are true 7-footers, but with a Jameson, you get a guy that can give you all those things, run the floor well, but he can also be, again, that physical presence that Hayes and Christian Koloko just cannot be. They don't have the capability of banging with the big boys, right? They're more of those, the athletic finesse guys, where Jameson is kind of more, is a little bit kind of in the middle. He's a little bit of both, right? He's the kind of center that the Lakers really need, and I've been looking to try to acquire. Now, obviously, things depend on how everything shapes up, how everything works, right? Because Lakers first have to clear a raw spot to get him. Now, I could see him getting some run, getting some burn between now and, the trade deadline to kind of get some looks, right? I imagine they brought him on a two-way because it's like, why else bring him on a two-way? Why not just sign him to, like you did Devontae Graham, sign him to a contract or something, right? With the G League roster. That's the fear of like a team coming in and swooping him up, right? Because again, he is a young, gifted, physical center that can provide a lot of things, right? And you never know what a guy can be in the right role, right system, right circumstance, right? There's a lot of guys that, guys that went undrafted, right? We have one, right? There's a lot of guys that on one place were not great and go to another place and we're great, right? Like, so, and again, at the end of the day, especially come playoff time, you're really just looking for a guy to come in, slot in, and give you 8 to 10 minutes a game, which I think Jameson is able to do. I think that's something that he would be able to accomplish for the Lakers, right? Like, it's one of the arguments for, like, do you go get a Nikola Vucevic or something like that? Even if you do, you still probably have the need for a backup, right? So I just think given what the Lakers need, Jameson fits that mold much better than a Koloko or a Hayes. I still really like Koloko. I still don't want to like lose Koloko or anything like that. Hayes I'm okay with. I've talked numerous times how I prefer Koloko over Hayes. Koloko's just better disciplined on the defense side of things and just the better shot blocker. He gives you everything Hayes gives you, but he's just better disciplined, better shot blocker than what Hayes is. And then as far as Jameson goes, he kind of gives you a bigger, maybe not as tall and as long, but a bigger version of, a Christian Koloko. And, Jameson still, he's, like I said, 6'10", 6'11", but he has like a 7'1", 7'2" wingspan. So he has the length to contest and compete. And like I said, he has a good athleticism, so he's able to get up, especially for a guy his size. I really like this acquisition. I really do think it's a solid pickup, right? It's it's low risk, high reward, right? He's a guy that maybe can change things for the Lakers. Give a little toughness to the Lakers. Give a little interior presence. Give a guy, like, I think fans are going to like him. High motor, high energy, right? Physical, bruiser, not afraid of the moment, right? Like, boom. I think he's a guy that Laker fans that are, because there are a lot of Laker fans that I've seen that are very skeptical, very disappointed. A lot of guys that I think are going to really come around. I think that are going to be like, oh, you know what? He's really good. Assuming he gets the opportunity, right? If he's just kind of playing spot minutes here and there, he's getting 5 minutes a game or something like that, right? How much is he going to be able to impact? How much is he going to be able to do? But he is a guy that I do think in 15 or 20 minutes of action can get you, 8 to 10 rebounds, block, a shot or two, and also just, again, be that floor running big, get you, 6 to 10 points, right? Will he ever be the prize center we need to start alongside AD at one point? Possibly. Again, he's 25 years old. Right? As of right now, I like him best as like your third big still. Right? Like, I don't think, and obviously, again, circumstances we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see what he actually looks like on the basketball court. But even like if we get the version that we got with Memphis, I still like him as like your third backup. Right? I'd prefer a more veteran-led. But there's even an argument for Jameson over a Day'Ron Sharpe. Right? Like that comparison. I might actually do a video kind of breaking those down just because I do think that there are comparables with those two. And I think that there are some things that really favor Jameson where, there's a few things that favor Day'Ron Sharpe. So look forward to that video. But just overall, I still wouldn't mind if they went and got a Day'Ron or they went and got, Jonas Valanciunas, something like that. I think if I had to guess, this is probably our Day'Ron, right? And that's probably how this is going to go. Lakers are probably going to go make some move, make some trade for some perimeter help, and then bring in Jemison to be that guy on the interior, to be the interior presence. So he might end up being the primary backup. But I don't think, I think given what the Lakers need, particularly come playoff time, I think he'll be fine. I've even talked about, like, if you get the right perimeter guys, even Jackson Hayes and Christian Koloko would be fine, right? Like, you just need somebody that can come in, play in spots, play in gaps for you, and just take some pressure off Anthony Davis. Jamison is a guy that you can slot alongside AD, and now you have you can run the two big thing, but I think it'll help with the rebounding, it'll help with the interior presence, right? Like I mentioned, he can run the floor well, good screen and roll man, right? Even Jenkins for the Memphis Grizzlies, his head coach, even talked about like what stood out for him and how he talked about, his physicality, his rim running, right? Like his ability to in the pick and roll and how well how good of screens he sets and then is able to roll towards the basket and be that kind of slip man. He's a guy that I really do think can kind of play that role for the Lakers, give you a lot of the same stuff that Jackson Hayes and Christian Koloko have been able to give you, but just more physicality, right, give you a little more toughness on the inside that the Lakers just don't currently have, right? Like, I would prefer Jamison against like a Zach Edey or Nikola Jokic, right, over Hayes or or Koloko, right? I still like Koloko a lot. I really think that Koloko has the potential to be kind of that two-way guy. But it doesn't hurt, right? And especially if one of these guys, like the Lakers are trying to find that guy. Right? They're trying to find that guy that you can have for the next 5 to 10 years. And Jemison might be that guy, right? Like, again, circumstances, fit, home, right? Like there's a lot of things that go into that. And there's a lot of guys that were, disappointing one place and really good in another. And, if he was 27, 28, probably close to a finished product. But for him, like, he's a guy that, yes, he's still a development guy. He's still very raw, but he is a guy that I do think can, as time progresses, I do think fans are going to like him. I like him. Is he like the cure for the Lakers? No. Right? Is he like, that's it, Lakers have the answer? Like, no. But he is a guy that I do think can actually make an impact for the Lakers this season and potentially for the future. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like Jemison? Do you not? Do you think that he can really have an impact and he can be a guy that really helps? Do you think, nah, no way, no how? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I love to hear it either way, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.